Good morning, YouTube. Mike here. Welcome to the very first video on Mike Ojo. I'm Mike Ojo, and this channel I created so I can talk about anything I want. Some of you know me already. If you don't, this video is a get to know Mike video. Okay, so my beginnings on YouTube, I started making YouTube videos about 3 years ago, and a lot of you perhaps came from my old channel or Mojo Grip. If you did, thank you so much for subscribing. Well, so I have another channel, Mojo Grip, that I make videos about airplanes. I'm a pilot and I am absolutely obsessed with airplanes. And so that channel is mainly about airplanes and aviation. This channel is going to be about me and whatever else I feel like making a video about. So a little bit more about me. I am 30 years old. I live in the state of Georgia. So that's also why it's taken me so long to make this very first video, but a lot of really exciting things happening right now, and I hope to share all of that with you in the future. And in order to get to know Mike better, I posted on my community tab for anyone to ask me any question, and so I'm going to use this video to answer all of those questions, and I've got them right here. All right, so let's jump into it. The first question comes from Matt K. He says, if you had $500,000 to spend, what would you buy? Doesn't have to be airplane related, but it can. So Matt says that because if you are on Mojo Grip right now, you know I'm building my very first airplane. But if I had $500,000 to spend right now, the first thing I would do is I would put 20% away just for rainy day. So, and then I'll put another 20% away for tax purposes. So I'm left with about $300,000. What I would do with 300 grand, I would probably pay off the rest of whatever little credit card debt I have left. And I would invest the rest in commercial real estate. So part of the topics that I'm going to be talking about on this channel is real estate, because right now I'm getting my feet wet in the whole investment side of real estate, and I have a partner working with me, and our project for the next year, 2020, is to buy a building. And so if I had $500,000, that would probably go into that. And the goal for real estate for me is just to build a portfolio. I'm not using the money for anything right now. It's just buy, build. And then maybe 20 years from now, I can retire if I want to. So if I had $500,000, that's what I would do. Put some away for savings, taxes, and then put the rest in real estate. Okay, moving forward. The next question. David Burke asked, how did you come up with your channel name? I'm assuming he meant Mojo Grip. This channel is simply my name. My name is Mike Ojo. For Mojo Grip, it's a very unique name, obviously. So Mojo Grip is actually two words put together. The first word is Mojo, which is my initial, Mike Ojo, so Mojo. The grip comes from my passion. So this was back in 2015 when I started the Mojo Grip channel, and at the time I had a Fiat Abarth and I had a Yamaha Striker, and also I had started taking flight lessons. And one thing that was common about those three different vehicles was that my right hand or my left hand was grabbing on something. So in the Fiat Abarth, it was a 5-speed, so I would always do this. And on my motorcycle, I was gripping on my throttle. And with the airplane, I trained in a Diamond DA40, which has a middle stick, which I would always grab with my left hand. So that's where the grip comes from, because all of my passions, which was driving, riding, and flying, had this, which is grabbing on something. That's where the Mojo Grip came from, and then it just fit perfectly. The next question is somewhat similar. How did I start the YouTube channel? The channel honestly started as I was just putting up my training video. As a matter of fact, it was my CFI, the person who was training me on how to fly. He suggested that I get GoPros and film whatever we were doing in the cockpit, and that it could help me, that if I go home and watch the videos, maybe I can see something I did right or wrong. So that's where the filming started. So I would just hook up GoPros in the cockpit, and then I would upload it on the YouTube channel. That's how I really started. Okay, next question. How many push-ups can you do? So right now I don't go over like 30 at a time. but I can probably do 80 push-ups at a time. So obviously I'm much older, but when I was younger, I was actually twice this size, and I used to wrestle back in high school. So those were the days where I was more of a gym rat. If I would go at a time right now, I can probably try to do 80. I think that's the most I've been able to do at a time. Now, it wouldn't be 80 like the normal pace I would go now, which is up, down, would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to do it really fast to get up to 80, but I can probably push 80.
We'll see that on video. I think that's really funny to just pan the camera down and just, okay, let's see, go on.
So bloopers. My wife is behind the camera here, and I don't think she's ever seen me do that many push-ups.
I was like,
but
I don't know about
I
that.
tell you what, we may actually make that a video. We'll put a bet on that.
My ass in push-ups.
Yeah,
I thought I was hot and I could do more.
We'll put a bet on it. So we'll put a bet on it, and we'll do a competition, some healthy competition here, but we'll see.
19, 20, 22, 23, 26, 30. 39, 40, 41, 2. Let's see your face.
That was 48?
This is a really good question. If you could have 1 hour conversation with a celebrity, alive or dead, who would you talk to and why? Okay, so here's the thing. I don't generally get starstruck, but if I had one celebrity that I can talk to or have an hour conversation with, it would be Nelson Mandela. Now, I don't know if it's considered a celebrity, but he's a pretty well-known individual. He passed on already, but if I had the opportunity to talk to anybody for 1 hour, it would be him. I've known about Nelson Mandela since I was a kid, but just barely. But I remember, growing up into an adult, and I read his autobiography, and I was just, and I usually don't read, but his story is so inspiring. And I remember after reading that book, I said to myself, you're never allowed to complain about anything, ever. Because a lot of times, you find yourself complaining about stuff, and then you read somebody else's life journey and you realize just the amount of adversity that somebody else can go through in a different part of the world. So Nelson Mandela would be my choice because I just have a ton of questions I would love to ask him, and the main reason because he inspires me so much, even in death. I think he's one of the greatest men to ever live. So that's my celebrity that I would want to talk to. Next question. Okay, so there's 3 more questions I'm gonna answer here. So the next question says, how much are you even involved with assembling your sling? Again, for guys and girls who are coming from Mojo Grip, I'm currently building a 4-seater airplane called the Sling TSI, and the videos and documentation of that build is on that channel. So go to that channel if you're ever interested in something crazy like that. But the question is pertaining to that how much am I involved in the build? So if you're not educated about this, basically the process I'm going through with building this airplane is I'm buying a kit and then I'm building the plane myself. Now, generally that's the way to go, but I decided to opt into what's called a build assist program. And a build assist basically provides you with expertise, the right tools, the space, and also more hands for your airplane. So what that means for you is instead of taking on the task yourself, where it can take up to 5-10 years to finish building one airplane, in a build assist program, it would take you about a year. So you cut that time short significantly. And the other thing also is that you don't have to be 100% present. You don't have to be 100% involved in the build process. As a matter of fact, the rule the FAA said, I believe you have to have about 51% as the owner and pilot for that airplane. So for me, my involvement with my build is actually, I would say, probably much more than the average person who goes through a build assist, because one, I want to document the process and let you guys know, learn the same stuff that I'm learning. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, the build is happening. Like, people are still working on the airplane, but I'm about 3,000 miles away in the East Coast. So the build is happening all the way in Los Angeles, and I'm traveling back and forth to be able to participate in the build. So my involvement, what I've been doing is I go in for a week or a couple of days. I spend time every day building, and then I come back home. And my next trip actually to California, I'm going to be staying there for about 2-3 months. So in that 2-3 months, I'm going to be building just about every day of the week. So my involvement, I would say, is I'm pretty much involved in there. Not 100%, more like 75%, I would say, compared to other people who go through a build assist. And that's the beauty about build assist programs, is you don't always have to be present, and the airplane is still being built. Travis wants to know, how long have I been growing my hair? So if you have not noticed, this guy has dreadlocks, and they're longer than I thought they would ever be. So it's been about 5 years that I've been growing my hair. It started, I would say, really more like 6 years, because I started growing my afro back in 2013. So to have dreadlocks, you grow your afro first, and then when the afro gets to 6 to 8 inches, then you start getting it twisted. And that twisting part started officially in 2014. So if we calculate from the earliest growth, it would be 6 years. But if you want to start from where I actually started growing the dreadlocks, that would be 5 years. And I think it's doing pretty good. And the last question, Benny asks, why start a new channel? Okay, and that's a good question. I honestly don't have to start a new channel. And for a lot of you who watch me on YouTube, I'm actually a very, very, almost extreme private person. But since I've jumped on YouTube a couple of years ago, it's, in a way, it's helped me share more about my life, obviously. But I kind of like the whole YouTube thing. And I feel very lucky, because with what I do with Mojo Group, which I pretty much do full time now, other than my other side project, I get to travel. I get to meet a lot of people. I get to learn. and that's the beautiful thing about aviation for me, is that, you know, you would think you know everything, and then you shake hands with somebody new, or you go to a new event and you find out so many things that you don't know. So in that process and that journey with my first channel, Mojo Grip, I enjoy it. And so me starting a new channel also has to do with the fact that I can pretty much make YouTube like my life in a way, but also I get asked questions all the time. And a lot of it has to do with either personal stuff or individual stuff. And I feel like Mojo Grip is sort of a niche market or niche topic where I wish I can make more videos that are not airplane related or aviation related, because sometimes I want to talk about business. I love business and I love entrepreneurship, because that's what I am. I've made a few videos on Mojo Grip that talks about those things, but not in detail. And so I thought, you know what? I want to be able to talk more about these things. And that's why I'm creating the channel Mike Ojo. And I thought of having a unique name for it and all this jazz, but I'm like, I'm Mike. Just get to know me. So that's why I'm creating this new channel, is just to talk about other passions that I enjoy and other parts of my life that you may not necessarily see on Mojo Group. Now, I'm not going to share every single detail of my life with you, but I figured a community has already started, so we might as well just get to know each other a little better. So that's why I'm starting this new channel. All right, and stay tuned. A lot more videos will be coming up, a lot more videos about personal, family life, a lot more videos about business, real estate, like I said, entrepreneurship, things that are about Mike Ojo. And I hope you enjoy a bunch of them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you share it, make sure you subscribe, and don't you dare subscribe without hitting that notification bell. Okay, it's important that you hit the notification bell. So subscribe, get the word out. I really appreciate you guys for spending time with me, and I hope to catch you on the next video. Peace.